Let's dig it up.
Well, thank you, everybody, every single one of you, for coming to the Global Detection Adventures podcast, and to every single one of you watching me live right now, thank you for coming and watching the show. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Today's going to be an actual real special show. We got a couple really great subjects to talk about today, and a couple good songs by our good friend T.G. Copperfield, and we know we love that guy. So, all right, so what we're going to be doing is today's subjects are going to be hawking and infighting. Those are some really touchy subjects, but don't worry about it. We're going to kind of go into it. We're going to be talking about hammered coins today. Myself and a couple of my friends, including Daniel Ray Ainsworth, who's listening right now, found some this last week, and one of them from our good friend Benchy, who you might have seen in a couple of my videos. One of them, that one that he found, actually has a date that's extremely special, and we're going to kind of talk about that a little bit, and then we're going to be going on over to Josh Kimmel, the guy who does the podcast. Excuse me. And we're going to be talking about some of his finds from this last weekend. There have been a lot of really good things popping up out of the ground, and he found really, really good stuff. And then we're going to end this off with a write-up by a guy named Isaac Pasede. He lives in Virginia, and he found an amazing find, but he gave us a story about how he got around to it. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about that as well. Now, if you haven't had a chance, make sure that you go on over and check out Josh Kimmel's podcast, and you will see that, excuse me, you'll see that his podcast has actually been going on for quite a while. It's Beyond Sight and Sound, the podcast. You can find it on iTunes and just about everywhere that you can get a podcast and download it. I was on it this last week, and had a really good time. We were talking about all kinds of things, including my disability, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, and how metal detecting has helped me. And we really kind of went all over the place, like like a bird flying all over the country. We were just hitting just about every kind of subject that we could. But what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be kind of talking about hawking and infighting. Now, those of you who don't understand what the term hawking is, or night hawking, these are people who are entering permissions illegally. It's something that happens all over the place. Like if we, my friends, the treasure hunters of Schweinfurt, Daniel, you're going to go meet up with Ryan, which is GDA Ryan, and you guys are going to go out there and metal detect, so have fun. Good luck to you guys out there. I know you're going to have a blast. I wish I could make it out there. The granddaughter just went home just a little bit ago, and I got to get some dinner cooking right after this, so you guys have some really good luck out there. But back to the subject, let's say me and the treasure hunters of Schweinfurt, these guys that I was just talking about, we get a permission and we see somebody else that's out there on the fields metal detecting without permission. That is called hawking. There's a lot of people that are doing this, and in England right now it is a really, really hot topic. Always has been a hot topic, and these people are out there and they're trying to find treasures and everything else that's in the ground, and they turn around and just sell it. A lot of them don't register them with the portable antiquity scheme or anybody, and a lot of history is lost in this. And it comes down to people like us who actually do the actual really good metal detecting, turn everything in and have a really good time, that these people are really making us look bad in everybody's eyes. Now, we had a friend of ours who was out metal detecting yesterday, and when him and his wife approached the field, they saw somebody that was parked on the opposite side of the field. And out in the field, they couldn't really exactly tell what this gentleman was doing, but they could tell it was a gentleman that he was all the way on the other side of the field. This is in England, so remember, these fields are a lot bigger than mainland Europe fields, and some of these fields can also be almost a kilometer long. So I can only imagine how big that field over there is. So when they started approaching, this gentleman noticed them and dropped everything into his van and drove off super fast. And they were able to figure out who this person was, and they knew for a fact that he was out metal detecting on their permission, a field where this gentleman did not have permission whatsoever. Now, they have done the better thing. They are not going to be attacking this person whatsoever any kind of way. In fact, they've done the correct thing and let the farmer know about it, and to keep their eyes open. But this is something that actually affects everybody, and it's not just in the UK. It's all over the United States as well. Take a look at people that are going out in these areas. They get really, really upset with people that are actually going on to their permissions. And this is something that really does drive a wedge between us as metal detectors, because one of the things that we're doing is we're trying to find history. This is our love. This is our passion. But there are people who are out there that are trying to find something to sell. And they don't care how they're going to go about and do this. These hawkers, as I will refer to them from this point on, they don't care who owns which permission or anything. They actually just go out there and just metal detect, take anything. Imagine you find somebody posts a video where they find a whole bunch of Civil War relics, and somebody knows exactly where that person metal detects and goes out there and hunts that exact same spot, leaving open holes and everything else, taking stuff out of the ground and leaving, and then selling it on eBay or any one of those online auction sites. Now, that history has then been lost. You know, these people that are going out and recording it, they record it for, historical sake. They might keep it on their personal, in their personal collections, but they are keeping these things for their own personal sake. These hawkers are going out there and they're finding unbelievable items and selling them online. In certain cases, people find 1, 2, 3,000 year old coins. They turn them into the portable antiquity scheme, and then they get it back. And the first thing they do is they offer it up for sale online, and then he actually, will post it on another auction site at the same time. So imagine this. They're getting bidding from 2 separate auction sites on the same coin. These kind of things are causing the name of metal detectors to be completely swept underneath the carpet. People are looking at us with cross eyes, and they are saying that we are robbing graves, basically. Just think about it. We are not robbing anything. We're not trying to steal anything. I know, Per, hey, thank you for joining in, Per. I know that you're out there doing the right thing. I think we've talked a couple times before. But, these are the people that are going out there giving us a bad name. Make sure that if you see these people, there are 2 things that you need to do right away. Number 1, you want to take your camera out and videotape or photograph them. Try and get as close to them as possible and photograph them out on your fields without doing any kind of physical contact or getting close enough for physical contact, and then report them. These are the people that are taking history out of the grounds. Imagine that person that you just took a photograph of is up on Hadrian's Wall, and digging around there. A massively historic site where somebody has been hawking in the last couple years, digging holes all over the place. It's been reported nonstop in the UK and England that metal detectors are out there in the middle of the night with their metal detectors digging things up from around this historic wall that separates southern England with Scotland, or what at the time would have been England and the Picts. And they're digging it up, ruining the grounds, leaving holes wide open. Or these people are going out on fields or pastures and digging stuff out of the ground and leaving gaping holes in the ground for horses or cattle to actually break their legs in. These are the people that don't care what we do. And we need to show the rest of the world we are not these people. So I'm not saying that we're the police, but if you happen to know somebody that does this, we need to get this taken care of. Now, this infighting that's been happening lately, it seems to come in waves. I've seen it over the last 4 years. It seems to come in the summer. Only in the summers does that seem to happen. And people start just getting really nasty with each other. And I don't understand this. This is a hobby. As soon as a hobby starts getting to the point where we want to start punching each other in the face, or even worse, threatening somebody's life, then we need to sit back and reassess our situation, what exactly we joined this hobby for. I've heard a report that somebody has actually threatened somebody's life by cutting their throat in the last several days. And this is a serious, serious offense. And we cannot sit back and let stuff like this happen. We have to realize this is a hobby, this is a love, this is our passion. We cannot take this too seriously. We need to really sit back and kind of reassess ourselves what we're doing here. The people that are new to detecting or uneducated in the way that we should metal detect need to be trained and taught in the correct way. The handling of relics, the reporting of relics, the way things are dug out of the ground. If they see something in the ground that's shining and gold and sparkling and it's obviously a part of something much bigger, they should leave it there, cover it back up, mark the area, and come back with somebody from the POS and, get the right people there. The Portable Antiquity Scheme, PAS, not POS. What was I saying there? I'm sorry for anybody who's a member of the Portable Antiquity Scheme. I did not mean to unconsciously insult you, so pardon me on that one. So you got to remember about this. Sit back and rethink the way that we handle ourselves, and let's treat each other with a lot more respect. If you have issues with somebody, there's no need to attack them online. That is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. We need to stop this, people. We really, really need to stop attacking each other online in front of hundreds, if not thousands of other people on groups, and really embarrass ourselves in the process of this, or even spreading false information online to get people dropped out of groups. These are issues that do affect not only the people that are doing it. It's issues that affects every single one of us, and we cannot sit back and idly let this happen. So these are the two things that we really need to do. We first need to make sure that these infighters are taken care of. As far as admin and everything else, we need to find the people who are trying to spread these rumors and get them taken out of the groups. We need to train these hawkers, or get rid of these hawkers who are trespassing illegally on public and private land to metal detect, and get them out of there. There are a lot of bullies out there, Stephen. You are absolutely correct. Stephen Kershaw actually just wrote, "This hobby has way too many bullies," and there are a lot out there. We need to put these people in check. We don't need to start spreading rumors about them. As far as being group admin, or group members, report them to the admin. Let them know, hey, listen, these people or this person is doing this or saying this. We need to make sure. But there needs to be evidence of this fact. If somebody is saying something online or saying something over a messenger, take a screenshot of that messenger, send it to the admin of a group, and show them exactly what these people are doing. As far as us being admin, we cannot just sit back and idly believe every single thing that is handed to us. Once we do this, we are actually putting ourselves in a position that we are being controlled by the people in the group. We need to police ourselves in our own groups, and this is the way that it has to be. So this is, that was kind of my rants for the day. I guess that's what you want to call it. You know what? Lance's rants. Why not? That sounds good, right? This is going to take us to the first commercial. It's not even commercial breaks anymore. The only thing I can say, make sure you guys check out the Rudis Alter 71. If you don't know about it, go to rudis.com.pl and check out this metal detector. It's fantastic. But for now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading over to the music section. The first song is going to be popping up, and we're going to be listening to Who Will Stop the Rain by T.G. Copperfield. And once we get back, we're going to kind of go into the subject of Hammies. We're going to talk about hammered coins. But for now, Who Will Stop the Rain from the album The Worried Man by T.G. Copperfield.
Now who's gonna end the silence? Who's gonna fill the void? The good things in this world are meant to be destroyed. Another side of the battle, another wave of hate. The train gets faster till it seems too late. Now where's the peaceful man raising up his hand, singing all the songs we'll believe in him? Now tell me, brother, who will stop the rain? Look over your shoulder, look inside your heart. Everything's about to fall apart. Well, we must not be silent. We cannot be afraid. We got love to conquer all the hate. Now where's the peaceful man raising up his hand, singing all the songs we'll believe in him? Now tell me, brother,
T.G. Copperfield, Who Will Stop the Rain, from the album The Worried Man. You can find it on iTunes. Make sure you head on over there. T.G. Copperfield is a friend of mine. Lives here in Germany. Wonderful, wonderful musician. If you ever get a chance to see him play live, absolutely one of the greatest shows you'll ever see. Make sure you get a nice German liter of beer, sit out there in the beer garden and just rock out with T.G. Copperfield. Trust me, it is worth it. Hey, so a lot of people want to know how everything's going with my recovery. The knee problem is still going on nonstop. I got fluid building up in my knee all the time. I have to keep going back to the orthopedic surgeon and keep getting it removed. But, overall, I'm able to be a little bit more mobile. Stairs aren't quite so horrible as they used to be. But, I still have to... if there's a lot of them, I still have to take pauses and everything. And long time standing still does hurt quite a bit. But hey, I'm back out metal detecting, and that's one of the great things. In fact, I wanted to go ahead and go into that because me and some friends, the treasure hunters of Schweinfurt, were actually out metal detecting on Thursday. In fact, they're out there right now. This is the last weekend we can actually go metal detecting before they start seeding the fields for the winter, and they're just going to grow some grass out there for the winter, and then we'll be able to go out there once the grass is actually taken hold, and we'll dig plugs and actually go metal detect. But I thought I'd go ahead and share with you guys some things that we found during the course of the weekend. Now, the first one that I actually have here, I gotta, pardon me, if you're watching this live, you're about to see exactly how old I am. Yeah, I do have the reading glasses going on here. So I wanted to go ahead and share with you some of the coins that we found during the course of the last hunts. Now, this one is one of the first ones. This is a copper. I don't know how well it's going to go. So you can see it's a 1/2 Kreuz. This is a German coin that came around right at the end of the 1700s up till the 1860s, I believe. And so yeah, this is 1828. It was a fantastic coin. It's in really good shape. I haven't cleaned it up whatsoever right now. I'm leaving it the way it is. It's pretty encrusted with some dirt. Now, we do have a very high mineralization of the ground here, so they do have a tendency to get a really thick coat of calcium deposits on them. So even a silver coin, when it comes up out of the ground, it will still look just like it's a copper until we actually clean it. Now, here's where we're going to start getting into the Hammies, German hammers. These are 1700s hammers. These are the ones that I found this last weekend. Now, these are just the ones that I found. We're going to be getting into the one from my buddy Benchy really soon. But this, it's going to be kind of hard for you to see. Now, if you did happen to see the photos that I posted, you'll see, now there's Latin writing on the back of this one. And then on the inverse side, there is the Baden-Württemberg coat of arms. And the year is 1793. This is a hammered. The term for it is, I can't remember what the term is called anymore, but it's silver mixed with copper. So this one, you can see, it's actually supposed to be more silver. This one has a very high copper rate, so it kept that patina extremely well. This is a, what is the denomination on this one? I think this is a 1/64th Grola, I believe. Or 48th. I think that's 1/48th. No, 1/42nd. 1/42nd. That's what it is. 1/42nd Grola. Don't even ask me how these coins, the denominations of these coins. And then this was my wonderful find this week. Little small guy, but I am absolutely in love with this guy. This is a silver. Oops, let me get it. Don't think it's going to focus really well, but you can see it there. All right, it's a silver. It also it has the coat of arms of the town of Wurzburg, which is about 30 minutes drive south of us. This is a 1/84th Gröller silver coin. Now, this is a very special one because this is part of what's called the Fürstbischof of Würzburg. So this was the holy leader of Würzburg actually created coins for a short period of time because it was a free state. And he was able to create his own currency while he was down there in Würzburg. And that's exactly what he did. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to share with you guys a photo from my friend Benji. I love this coin that he found. It is absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to show you the year last because it is an extremely important year. I talked with some people out of the UK about this. And if you live in England, you're going to figure it out. So I will... Now, people... I'm going to give you a chance for a small little competition, nothing to win, except for the pride that you said I figured it out. Okay? No cheating, no looking up, no Googling, no Ask Jeeves, no nothing. Okay? I'm going to give you the year, and the first one to answer it has the right to say, yes, I answered it first. Okay? So here's the front of the coin. Really beautiful coin, really fantastic. This is the hammered silver, so it's 99% silver. Really beautiful coin. And then we go to the back side, and you should be able to see the year right there on the top. And so the year is 1666. So, who's going to let me know what happened in the year 1666? This is an absolutely beautiful coin. Fantastic coin. I am so jealous of Benji for finding this. He was maybe about 10 feet in front of me, and he was about 10 feet in front of me, kind of cutting right across my path. Don't you just hate that? And... So he was cutting right in front of me, about 10 feet in front of me, and he dug this up, and he was woohooing the whole way, and man, that would have been such a beautiful coin to find. I mean, just look at this thing. Beautiful, beautiful coin. But anyway, so yeah, anybody know the significance of the year 1666? Like I said, don't ask Jeeves and don't ask Yahoo. Or Google, or anything like that. So, Scott said he thought he knew, but he doesn't. But, this is kind of the years, the history of England, so it might be something for them. Here's another little interesting piece that I found, a really nice little necklace piece I found this last week. It's copper, beautiful two-piece. It's probably going to be late 1700s also. Really beautiful little necklace piece. Yeah, and the funny thing is, during the course of one day, we found 14 musket balls. It became to the point that it got to the point that we were like, okay, musket balls aren't cool anymore today. Now, those who saw some of my videos live, here's the shoe buckle. Really beautiful finds. These fields are absolutely just coughing them up, and we're loving it. We've pretty much got permission for the entire town, and we are just having fun. Now, I want to talk about having fun. And Josh Kimmel, if you haven't had a chance, I was on his podcast recently, and it's called Beyond Sight and Sound. Make sure you go over and give him a listen. And check it out. We talked about just about everything under the sun. And it was really, really fun just sitting around and talking with him. And so, again, I'm going to ask everybody out there if you can think while we're live what the importance of 1666 is. You get Bragging rights. Yeah, that's right. You get those bragging rights. There's nothing better than bragging rights, isn't there? Head out on the field and say, yeah, I won the bragging rights on GDA this week. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I said that. So anyway, Josh Kimmel was out hunting yesterday, and I am absolutely stunned by the things that he found. Now, he found a shield penny, which I really, even to this day, I love these old shield pennies. I mean, I wish they had kept this design around instead of switching over to the stinking Lincoln, but, you know. But he found a lot of other things. I mean, just random things that you find in a park, including there was a broken, it looks like a wedding band, a sad crying emoji pin. Who wears this? Why would you have a sad crying emoji pin? And then another pin that looks like it was a steering wheel. It's just really, really odd. But he found 2 sterling silver earrings, which is fantastic. Both of them 925 silver. The first one, actually, it looks like it has a green emerald in it. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful. The emerald looks like it's a little cracked on the top of it, but it still looks so beautiful and stunning on that silver. And then the other one looks like it has mother of pearl inlaid into it, but both of them are just really fantastic looking earrings. You need to make sure you head on over to GDA. They will be listed in the link in the comments directly below this. I will definitely show it to you guys. Once we get done, check it out. I'm going to copy the link to this actually right now. And, you know, you need to definitely check this out. They are absolutely fantastic. They're beautiful finds. And otherwise, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to cut for one more song from T.G. Copperfield. This next song, pardon me while I pull it up, it's called 330 Blues. The odd thing about this one, it's called 330 Blues, but their running time is 3 minutes 24 seconds. Anyway, so let's go ahead and give this a listen. This is from his self-titled debut album, T.G. Copperfield. This is T.G. Copperfield with a 330 Blues. And that was T.G. Copperfield with 330 Blues from his self-titled debut album, 330 Blues. Make sure you head on over to iTunes and download his album. Really, really, really good. It's fantastic. I know you guys are going to love it. All right, so this is going to be the final story of the day. Like I said, if you can think of what the significance of the year 1666 is to the UK, make sure you post it on the comments right here on the video or right below if you're seeing it, on the Facebook group. And, the first person to do it without looking it up on Google or Ask Jeeves or, Ask Yahoo Answers or anything like that gets the bragging rights for the week. And we'll make sure that we give you the kudos that you rightfully deserve. All right. So what I want to do is I'm going to talk about a story that I got this week from 42 in Australia. First of all, big shout out to 42, girl. You doing it. You got it going on this week, girl. All right. So she sent me the story of a guy named Isaac Passetti. I hope I didn't butcher that too much, like, Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but let's see exactly how this goes. Isaac Passetti was actually out metal detecting, and he wrote a little story, and he gave us the right to actually read it on the air. So I want to share this with you guys. Now, this is directly from him, his words, not mine. The last 24 hours have been crazy. Yesterday, I got a permission to do a 1694 house with Sam, but as soon as I turned on my detector, I realized my coil had died. He's, I'm not exactly sure what he is swinging right now. I couldn't tell you, but the story continues. I was beyond devastated. I thought I would be able to dig the entire time I was up in Connecticut. Luckily, today, Sam was able to lend me a coil from his MXT All Pro. Thank you so much, Sam. Sam, you sound like a really good friend. We need to find out exactly who you are, bring you on the show, man. Going out on a limb for somebody like that. He drove up to Connecticut from Virginia. You sound like a really good dude. Anyway, later in the day, I knocked on a door of a 1740s tavern, which looked very promising. Unfortunately, the owners weren't home, but as soon as I was about to leave, the owner of the house next door asked who I was looking for. So I said my spiel, and subsequently, I was given permission to metal detect his house. He made it clear that I can only metal detect the 15-foot by 15-foot living room-sized backyard. My first signal was a brass salt shaker top that was pretty mangled. My second signal was reading from an 86 to a 94, and it was really smooth. I was banking on it being a silver quarter or maybe even a large cent at about 5 inches. But when I dug my plug, it was still at the bottom of the hole. A plug is usually about 6 to 7 inches tall, he says. Hey, there you go, Dirk. Thanks for joining us, bud. And this is Dirk Ayala. I want to give him a big shout out. He's from Olympia, Washington, back in my home state. You can tell, bud, that, I'm doing, even over here in Germany, still representing. All right. So he was saying that his plugs are usually about 6 to 7 inches tall. He used his pinpointer and it was still beeping fast and strong, so I scooped out a little bit more dirt from the bottom of the plug, and with that came out a huge silver disc. It was very worn, and at first I thought it was a Morgan dollar and then a Spanish 8 reals. I was able... just a second, where was I? Boy. I was able to take the wet, sandy soil off it to reveal what hadn't been seen in the light of day for over 200 plus years. It turned out to be a huge French colonial silver. It was a French Louis XV ECU from 1763. My third hole turned out to be a nail, and then the homeowner said, "I'm sorry, but I didn't realize you'd be digging so much, and I'm going to have to ask you to leave now." Boy, we hear those stories a lot, don't we? But anyway, just for the fact that we can go out there for a couple minutes, those are the honorable moments. Anyway, so back to the story. So I was very fortunate to find that coin before the homeowner kicked me off. After that, I hunted a couple of old standby sites, and I didn't find a whole lot. However, somebody came up to me while I was hunting and asked me to find his property stake. Within 20 seconds, I was able to find it for him. Today was a great day. So this was the story from Isaac in his mid-1700s silver coin. To find a 1763 French Louis XV coin is absolutely fantastic, and it sounds like he got really lucky getting into that permission, the old tavern. I'd love to see an old tavern like that. I know my buddy Luke is out at a tavern right now, or a pub out in the UK. Wish I could make it out there and sit down with him and have a nice little frothy one, but you know what? Got mine right here, and that's the best I can do. But these are the stories that really, really get me excited. Just like those coins, the stories of where they return a wedding ring. Now, we did have a story. I can't remember who actually posted it this week, but somebody went out to a beach where somebody said that they had lost a ring, the guy's wedding ring. They'd only been married for a couple weeks. He went out and metal detected the area, and I think it was after a couple hours he actually found the ring in the sand and was able to give it back to the family. He showed them exactly where he found it, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right, that's where we were. So it's really good, really great seeing people like this doing great things. And like I said, right at the top of the story, or right at the top of the podcast, we've really got to keep an eye out for the hawkers out there. These people are giving us a really bad name, illegally entering somebody's property, trespassing, and finding finds that are historically significant and just selling them off on the markets online. These are things we got to really, really kind of keep an eye on. I want to thank every single one of you for coming into the show today. You know, you guys make my life the reason why I do this. You guys make it why I do this. This is truly a fantastic show. I'm going to give a big shout out to Kim Casperson. How you doing? Glad you could make it in. And you know, GDA is made up of almost 7,000 people from around the world who share their stories and finds. So make sure you get on over to the Facebook group, type in Global Detection Adventures, and ask to join. I'll be more than happy to bring you into the group. You can also find me on Facebook. That's GDA Lance. On YouTube, you can find Lance Goolsby Official on Facebook. I'm going to be posting stuff there as well. Keep your eyes open. We're going to have Instagram and a whole bunch of other things coming out really soon. And I might be even designing some new shirts for the GDA people. So make sure you guys check it out. Also, make sure you guys go on over to rutus.com.pl. That's rutus.com.pl. Check out their line of metal detectors. I can honestly say that the Rutus Alter 71 that I have right now is one of the greatest metal detectors that I got. I have a whole stack right here. Do you hear all that? Those are fines. You know, there's probably about 20, 25 fines sitting up there. 2 buckles, like I said, 7 musket balls, horse tack pieces and decorative items. And if you want to see the fines displays behind me, that's on the other show. Almost everything shown in those. For the people that are watching it live right now, those are all toys and autographed items and Star Wars and everything else. I do another show that's called There Is Another. You can find that online as well. We got a new show that's going to be dropping this week. We're a week behind right now, so hopefully we'll be catching up next weekend. But we got a new show that's dropping where we talk about all kinds of pop culture stuff, including movies, television, comic books, everything basically, and a whole lot of news that surrounds everything, and stuff in these things. I'm going to be showing them on the There Is Another Podcast Facebook group or page. Excuse me, it is a page, and you'll be able to see some of the fantastic things that I've been able to find. including something like this. I got a Catwoman figure that's actually sitting up over here not far from the computer. Small Millennium Falcons. These are the kind of things that, it's what I do. It's my love. Metal detecting in this. And but that's it for us this week. Make sure you head on over to Archaeology and Metal Detecting Magazine. That's archmdmag.com. Check them out. Give them a big amount of love and let them know Lance sent you over there, because I'm not going to be able to get you into any kind of doors because nobody likes me that much. Not true. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. Of all the different places that you could be online, you guys are listening to the Global Detection Adventures podcast, the GDA radio podcast. I thank you so much. If you want to know exactly everything about the music was all TG Copperfield. Make sure you check him out on iTunes. And for now, this is going to be me, my own music, taking us out. And we'll see you guys in 1 week. This is a production of the GDA Radio Podcast. All songs used by permission by the owners. GDA does not take possession of any of the songs. They are property of the respective owners. Make sure you check out our other shows. There is another podcast. And make sure you check out Lance on Beyond Sight and Sound with Josh Kimmel. Until next week, we love y'all. See you on the field. Let's dig it up, y'all.